What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great, happy Halloween today, morning, noon, night, whatever it is for you guys. Hope you're having the best day possible. So, today, guys, we're going to be getting into a Halloween special for you guys. This is all thanks to Alpha Shocker recommending this video to me. So, this is one of Baldermore's videos that we're going to be checking out today, guys. It is the Haemonculus Covens of the Dark Eldar. So we're not going to do the full video, but I hear there is a pretty chilling story at the very beginning that we're going to watch. I believe it's like a 30-minute long story. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump right on into it. Haemonculus Covens of the Dark Eldar. Are you ready? All right, you guys. Let's get into this thing today for you. With the patch.
It looks down on me, its face so similar to ours, yet not. The light that shines and illuminates, he and I, and the board I am on. The utensils on the myriad racks behind us, around us. They glisten. All are of different sizes, metals, shapes, designs. Some are delicate, exquisite, one might say. Others look cruel and heavy and terrible. But all are sharp, and all glisten with reflected light. Racks run for as far as I can see, well into the darkness and beyond.
So, this is already starting off from the image that I'm getting of the Dark Eldar in a torture chamber surrounded by weapons that are very, very sharp. That's the Dark Eldar for you. Let's keep going.
Like a huge warehouse of equipment, where no two things are contained that are the same. And we are at its center. Above us is darkness, but I can feel things swaying, perhaps hanging just outside the light, perhaps hundreds of meters above. It is impossible to tell. But I can hear the creak of chains, the slight grinding of metal on metal, rust spitting down on each other. I can almost feel anticipation emanating from the darkness, like a wave of excitement. Or is it hunger? We have an audience. But if that is so, then I am the main attraction. It would be a first. All of my existence I have been nothing. From my time of first breath to the moment it all, I had thought at the time, ended. Nothing. I was a menial in a huge, choked jungle of plasteel concrete and doors. Always doors. Metal walls, metal floors, metal skies, metal dreams, metal existence. Metal and stone. One of the points.
So, is this a prisoner that has been captured and has just been tortured, or was he born into servitude and torture is his existence? And it seems like they have an audience to watch him get tortured.
This thankless teeming billions of a hive. Each day is toil. Each night is tiredness, not even begun to be scratched by the limited hours we are permitted to rest. It seeps into you until you are always tired. Never time for what someone might call recreation. What is that in the hive? If you do not work, you are sent to the queues. Nobody says it, but we all know. For all who join the queues stand, occasionally slouch a few paces, then stand again. But when they reach the gates to the processing plant, there is no seeing them again. Yet trailers full of corpse starch come out the other end.
Yeah,
I saw them once when I was young, when I managed to get through one of the doors, hiding from sight behind the crowds who went through one way or the other, but only once. and none believed me. Not because they did not believe, I think, but because they did not wish to know. None did. So in time, I stopped talking about it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
As later I came to find out that all knew. We just did not talk about it. To think that the conclusion of our days of endless toil, endless suffering were for nothing. That there was no reward at its end, but to shuffle one last time towards a place that would make us into the meal of the morrow. Better to never think about it.
He's right about that.
But that was then, when we were free, citizens of the Imperium of mankind.
Free?
Yesterday. Before the assault.
What?
Before the Night of Terrors. The night I was taken by the evil ones, the Xenos. The ones who came to take us. The ones who herded us through the habs, through the runs and tunnels, who slew any who resisted, slew many who did not, and merely cackled like demented jesters. They were like stretched people, like a mirror room of magic, where the fat become thin and the short become tall. These things. They could look beautiful and terrible all in the same moment. When they moved, it was a blur, a dream made real. They just appeared and darted around us so fast none could truly see them move. And it was over. Like a nightmare. It happened so fast. Happened so thoroughly. I saw the endless ships they brought down, the lines of us that were being herded towards shimmering holes in space, like doorways into the realms of dreams. Always doorways. And I was pushed through one eventually. Resistance was futile and final. And after all, what could I be scared of? Because
a lot.
When it came down to it, I was nothing. I am nothing. And could there really be anything worse than that, which we already faced every day? The death of dreams, the death of hope, the slow deterioration of our bodies as we were ground down by long hours, little food and no reason at all to continue. Nothing to aspire to, nowhere to escape. So when these stretched men and women, these aliens who looked so much like us when at rest, when still, when they pushed me through the tear in reality into the light, I did not go with trepidation.
I didn't fight it.
But expectation. Because what could be worse than being nothing? I could not have known.
Well, you're about to find out. Probably,
And here I am,
not good.
Strapped to a board, immobile. Like a maestro of some orchestra, the thing above me elegantly bows to the darkness above, around us, the silent shadow. He indicates with a flourish of his hands, so many, that he is about to begin. For all the world, if I had not been at the center stage, I would have been enwrapped, and as excited at the promised spectacle as any who may be watching now.
Could you just imagine that, guys, like being on a table and just seeing that guy standing over top of you? Yeah, he's not gonna have a good time. Now, do they continuously torture? I mean, I know the Dark Eldar torture. Do they let the people heal? Do they heal the people and then continue to torture them? Or do they just go to somebody else and take turns? Somebody let me know.
He was so elegant, despite his terrible visage. So terrible.
Elegant?
I felt like I was in the presence of a dark performer who played to the gods themselves, if he were not one. At this thought, his head snapped up, its eyes full on mine, those terrible eyes. He moved toward me, but there was no sound of steps, no movement or swaying in him. 'Twas as if he simply glided toward me. I could not move my head to look down over the edge of the elaborate slab I was on to confirm whether he levitated, or if some other force kept him from the ground, for nothing that walks moves so cleanly, so smoothly. Nothing. But as he closed, his mouth opened, and out came a language I understood, The Xenos are animals, is what I knew, what I had been told. Yet this one moved like a ghost, like an apparition,
Just gliding
and
around.
spoke as we. No, worm. You were right before you were right. You do indeed lay in the presence of a dark performer, and as you felt so rightly, you lay in the presence of a god. Me. I shall perform a transaction possible only to the divine. For I now tear back the veil. I shall slip my hand into the very mouth of eternity, of finality, of death. And I shall drag out the beings I've deigned to save from its maw, from its hunger. And the only coin I require, the only fuel for my alchemy, my miracle, is the most base and useless material the universe knows of, the dregs of reality that nobody wishes existed, and never will any mourn. Its eyes encompass me entirely. I drown in its darkling pools as it nods its head to me and smiles a terrible rictus grin and says, You. We will go on a journey together. You will walk in the footsteps of titans. Will be shown all of the wonders that I have accrued over my near endless existence. All this I will do for you. To you.
For what?
So they may live. So they may breathe again. He looks up at this, into the darkness above us.
What?
For they have paid the ferryman, as your people would say. And I shall bring them back across the rivers of night to my side, and then back out into the great city, the sempiternal city, the dark city of Kormorah. But our journey, it shall be long. It shall be glorious. You will experience more in these days and weeks than even the accumulated memory of your entire race can fathom. It will be without compare. For I am, as you so rightly identified, so quickly grasped, a god amongst mortals. I am so far beyond anything you can presently imagine that it is truly a gift to share this with you. I am not sure you are worthy, but we should...
So he's offering him a gift, and that gift sounds a little too good to be true. I feel like there's got to be a catch-22 here. What's going to happen?
We shall discern this on the trek together, forever together. You will live out the last of your existence in my presence. So blessed art thou. While I work, while I perform my opus on your body, in your body, on your mind, in your soul, I will enlighten you. I will raise you up. I shall sing you a lullaby without end, for your life shall conclude for ere it will.
No thanks.
For I shall sing thee the tale of what some call the fall, which we call, well, inevitability, evolution, apotheosis. I will make your senses sing, your every nerve and neuron flare with the most incandescent of experiences. I will allow you to flee and catch you again, time and time again. I will send dark things to fill your mind while I take your eyes out still functioning, then place them at a vantage point so you can see me unbind and rebind your body again and again. Sometimes I will allow you to experience each slice, each caress, each movement as it occurs.
What?
At other times I will deny you the reality of the experience while you witness it, then have it all crash down onto you in a nanosecond as I reattach your eyes. Like the pain, the sensation was held in your eyes, the mirrors of the soul. I will make you kill your loved ones, those who are here or so. You think there are none, but you forget the faces you have seen all your life, the ones that are etched on to your existence, your mind. They are all here also, and I have found them all. The one you thought yourself enamored with a year ago. The one who you first coupled with. The one who looked somewhat like she who gave you birth. I have read your mind, sifted your thoughts and memories, have located them all. No, there is no warp here. I am no psyker. I do not need such tricks.
What?
But what we can do with neuroscience, with our merest trinkets, you will equate to the deepest of magics. So far above you we are. And we shall see your tolerance to all, your breadth and depth, the outer limits of your soul, how far it can go, how expansive you are.
No thanks.
And the loved ones, I shall have you kill them when I tire of having my rags do it. When you are ready, when you despair, when you are past that, and the axe mean nothing to you any more, then I shall blend your genes, show you the face.
What the crap? So, this guy, this God in the presence of mortals, if we want to call him that, is going to, repeatedly torture him. Take out his eyes, put him up on a shelf over here, let him watch. As he cuts him open some more, and then when he's done, he's going to put his eyes back in. But he said he knows exactly where these girls are that he was enamored with. And he's going to send him to kill them. Does he mean like all within like the branches of his mind, or is he actually going to brainwash him and send him to kill these girls? What is this thing? Are all dark Eldar like this? Or is this just this guy? Somebody let me know.
Faces of the children you would have bred had you successfully coupled. With narcotics and arcane trick, I shall make you live out entire lives in the blink of my eye, then rob you of all that they contain. You will never know what is real as I bend your perception like the deity I am. And the things I will get you to do. Oh, the experiences you will have. The limits you will...
So, he's going to do this all within his mind. Like, he's going to do a complete, like, mind fuck on this guy. To where an entire lifetime is going to go by in the blink of an eye to that guy, but an entire lifetime has went by. He's going to let him have a family, have kids, and then just going to take it all away, just like that. God. Okay. Let's keep going.
Will test the depths. With each one, a tiny slither of your soul will be shed, and you will become thinner and thinner as our experiences continue. Each slither will be a morsel to those above. Each cry of pain, each wail of regret, each bubbling moment of insensate jabbering will feed those above. It will make them whole again. Each time I peel off your skin, the suffering will allow them to grow their own. Each time your heart feels about to break, a beat above us will begin anew. But even then, even when you are gone, when you feel there is nothing more you can endure, nothing more you can experience, nothing more you can give, it is then that we shall start in earnest. Then you will pass through the doorway I open, and I shall take you to a level of suffering that has never been experienced, dreamed of, by the most wretched and complex, inspired or genius of your entire race. If I were to gain a list of all of the atrocities your people have ever performed one on the other, each vile act, each moment of sadism, each pain inflicted, and tallied them, it would not be more than a prologue to the litany of pain we will experience together.
What?
For you are about to be the harp by which a virtuoso plays a lament to the universe. You are but the instrument by which I shall awaken those who have paid my fee. Some require an orchestra, with banks of instruments, hundreds sometimes. But not I. You are honoured, for I am a soloist. But whilst I begin, I shall sing thee a lullaby. The universe was young when we woke. Our hearts were immortal, our souls so much mightier than yours. We were eternal. When we died, we simply waited until our next incarnation, slipping from one life, one body, one vehicle to the next in a never-ending existence merely punctuated by periods of formlessness. An eternal river, a cascade of experiences, one after another, building, ever building, like a tower. In our earliest waking, we were thrust into a war the likes has never been seen since, nor ever will. Even now the Ogier that arise are nothing compared to their might of old, without the full force of the Ingir masters,
He's right.
who they have made thralls. But they went into slumber, fleeing through time from our majesty, our power. So without them to challenge us, we set about ruling this galaxy. We brought the Croak, the orcs to brook, and culled them again and again until they were naught but an inconvenience. None could match us. Some arose every now and again to attempt to challenge us. The fools. We destroyed them all. For we were the masters of the material and the spiritual. Our connection to the ether, what you call the warp, a gateway to power unheard of, inconceivable to your kind. The very building blocks of the universe are ours to arrange at our whim. The only boundaries self-imposed, the only blocks to our power were mewling weakness and simpering cowardice. Fetters left on us by a culture that propounded the bland and contained, shackles we would eventually throw off. For countless millions of years we ruled. We explored every nook and cranny of this realm, this galaxy, snatching the keys to reality via our science and skill. Nor did we merely perform prosaic experiment and exploration only. Our culture reached heights unattainable by others, you weaker and pallid foe copies of our splendor.
So, this, I'm going to call him a demigod, is a doctor of some sort, and the people that have paid his fee are basically, as the individual is getting tortured, is sending life to these people. What are they, Dark Eldar or something else? This is very strange.
Our writing, our culture, our knowledge and understanding, our existence was nothing short of semi-divine.
Divine.
But that was the rub, the challenge. We were only semi-divine then, still clutching the blankets of respectability and denial that hid the cowering child beneath. Eventually, after eons encountered, some arose to challenge the existing dogma, bright beings of light. I was one of them, one of the great ones, the trailblazers. We saw through the lies of the
Kind of
timid.
looks like one of the Blood Angels.
We glimpsed reality as it truly was. We knew that there was no greater exaltation than the moment, the most intense of experiences. For all life was experience, all of reality was perception. So by freeing ourselves from these self-imposed shackles, we evolved.
Became divine.
Some would always attempt to control others, to bring them down to their level of mediocrity, to prevent them from ascending. The bleating of the craft world Eldar, those that your race believe are the only ones. They and their sham existence of self-denial and insipid weakness still believe in the old ways, the ways of restraint. When they and their even more puritanical allies failed to put the brakes on, failed in their cause to return to the safety of servitude to tradition, they fled. Good. I remember toasting their journey in the hopes that they fell prey to the vicissitudes of the galaxy. But with them gone, I and the few other visionaries began to lead the people to another existence, a free one, a life without restraint, without controls, without limits. Sensation was all, pleasure was all.
Sounds
Cults
like
to our greatness, our
Slanesh.
splendor, were formed around us. Me and those like me, the trailblazers. And we did all and anything our hearts desired. The greater the depth of degradation, the more titillating and more enriching of life.
Yep, Slanesh.
That many
definitely.
would be consumed in the fires of our passions was unavoidable. For the truth of the matter is that there are none as the Eldar. None that can experience the universe and all of its beauty and terror in the way to the depth that we can.
Okay.
All others are wan copies, nothing more. Fodder for our enjoyment, our pleasure, our experience.
All right.
I have culled entire populations of your people to render them for a suitable garnish for my meals, and they should be grateful to be able to serve to my greater glory.
No. No, thank you.
I and other such visionaries were still too far forward in our explorations, our experience, that even the cults that sprang up around us were not ready for our bounty, our wisdom. So many of us, the leaders, the old aristocracy of the Eldar houses, but the visionaries on our quest for satiation, we learned that we had to retreat into the webway to gain privacy for our deepest research. Our most sublime experiences.
What?
Thus many of us formed domains within the webway, within the realm that is neither immaterium or materium. We were safe from prying eyes and dissenting voices that would only curtail our great feats. The craft worlders would state that we descended into hell, our cities bloodbaths, our secret palaces of pain and pleasure, our edifices to experience, were naught but nightmares. But they are blind. They do not see, refuse to admit that in this, as with all things, we were right.
I don't think so.
For they look to the birthing of she who thirsts, the prince of pleasure, Slanesh, as a thing of calamity and woe. They call it the fall, you know, children. But from our perspective, when aligned correctly, when we understood, it was nothing short of a blessing that we had wrought. For we had created a dark and terrible god, and in doing so our race died, is what they would state. Her birth cry annihilated trillions of bright and glowing immortal souls as she arose. She consumed the existing gods, the old ones, the anachronisms, the weak and timid things that were the foci of our prudish or ancient kin. Outdated and unimportant, they were fed upon by Slanesh. And with her advent, the nature of reality and our experience changed, as it always should have done. It evolved, for she awaited the deaths of Eldar with slavering more, consumed all passed into the veil. Our lives of constant reincarnation were over. But more than this. When her birthing scream destroyed the Eldar Empire, it was not alone. For her scream echoed into the webway and touched all of the Eldar souls therein contained. Mine, all of us who had lordship here. And at first it was seen as a curse and an ending, for each could feel her delicious lips at the throat of their souls, her tongue caressing them and slowly by slowly draining the life energy from all of our kind, even within the demi-realm of the webway. There was fear, and there was panic, from those beneath me, beneath my kind. But we visionaries, we lords of reality, we messiahs, we looked harder, with truer eyes. We came to the realization that we had now gained true immortality. For when we inflicted pain, when we witnessed its red flow from others, then it replenished us. It continued us. It made us immortal. Truly immortal. For we do not now die and stay as formless things and await a body to inhabit as before. No. The God that I was midwife to, creator of, father to, it has been the key. For now we cannot be killed by any but our own. Another master of reality. Another homunculus. When I go out to destroy an experience and collect a tithe from your kind, or any of the cornucopia of living beings spread before us in real space, then I am immune to you. You can kill my body, but should but one part remain, a fingernail, a hair, a molecule even, then I can be regrown by my underlings by merely witnessing pain. I am now truly immortal, as my memories are my own and do not wane in the river of souls. I cannot be killed, and none of this is possible without that which we created, Slanesh, without the Prince of Pleasure that we have created to be the anchor by which we are tethered to reality. It is not a thing to be feared by one such as me, merely paid her due. So you see, there was no fall of the Eldar. There was a simple transaction. We had created an entity, a god, for our own purposes by sacrificing trillions of souls. I miss none. They were weak and pathetic, and were placed on the altar of advance and our own godhood. We, the few, the visionaries, the true inheritors of the will of our race. Thus do I now pay her due, on behalf of those above us, those who have begged and secured my alchemical power for new life. And you are the gateway, the raw material I shall use to perform this transaction, so that those I have chosen can live again, without the messiness and loss of resurrection. I bring them back.
What?
Then it begins, and my mind convulses from the pain it inflicts on me. An intensity I thought unbearable, but as time goes by, when I wish I could return to. Forever onwards. To despair, to degradation, to horror, to an unending hell. But this is not living, this is not existing. This is the fruit of my labours, the bounty of a god who is bruted to protect, but actually sits on his throne doing naught but accepting supplication from an entire race. As the thing above me tears me to pieces and puts me back again. I think of my god, my emperor, but now I know he hath not forsaken me, because he never cared from the first. All my life I prayed to him, yet still this is my fate, and he is impotent to stop them. These beings from the deepest, darkest realms of hate and pitilessness, for they are as old as he, and they are as powerful, and they exist. And the people of the galaxy, of all worlds, should know. It is only a matter of time until they are taken, until they are broken again and again, until they are reforged and accept their fate as the plaything and repast of the dark denizens of the universe, the lords of Kormorah, the Eladrithinias, the Dark Eldar.
All right, guys. What the crap? So the Dark Eldar, I guess you would say, as a species, were sacrificed to Slanesh so that basically these homunculus, no longer have to die or experience pain. And so when they go to collect these prisoners, individuals, there's no way they can stop them. There's nothing that could hurt them. Even if one molecule is left behind of them, they can be reborn again. And so it's not like back in the day where when they died, their soul floated and had to wait for another body. They're going straight into it. And all has to be done is for their underlings to witness pain, the red blood flowing. What the crap, you guys? I knew the Dark Eldar were bad. I knew they tortured people, but you were correct. That is a little much. Yeah, the whole part where he's gonna take his eyes out, sit him up on a little shelf, and make him watch him as he cuts him open again and again and again, and then put his eyes back in so he can feel it. No, thank you, sir. No, thank you whatsoever. Not a fan. Not a fan. But guys, that was your happy Halloween special. You can thank Alpha Shocker for that recommendation. So, guys, before you head out that door, go ahead and beat up that like and subscribe button. Let's turn some notifications on. We are almost at 1,000, and we're going to blow right past that with your help, you guys. Thank y'all so much. And we have also created a subreddit. So if you want to jump down there, leave some comments, cool videos, video suggestions, by all means, go ahead and do that for me, guys. Would love that. It would help me out tremendously. But with that being said, guys, peace, love, happiness to you. Y'all have a great rest of your night. And always, guys, be easy. Love you guys. Y'all be good.